I'm Tristan, and this is Thinking About Politics. So the news in Afghanistan has knocked us off our regularly scheduled content. Yesterday I had really planned to go into a video about the Trump reinstatement, about, why that's absolute nonsense and how it could never possibly happen, under the law, if you believe in that sort of thing. But the stunning events of the last, couple weeks, the Taliban's advance through the country of Afghanistan, the capture of Kabul, the capital, the fleeing of the Afghan president, it's just a lot to take in. The first concern here should be the people on the ground. The future is unknown. We don't know what's going to happen, but it is a very dynamic and fluid situation. So, although we're going to be thinking about this as a political issue, we also don't want to lose sight that there is a humanitarian issue here as well, and we want to think about that. But I think the first thing I need to do is I need to come clean. I have never, ever been a Joe Biden fan. I have been following Joe Biden since he was a senator. I've never been particularly impressed. I thought he was part of that Democratic establishment, but Joe Biden has got this one right. Let me repeat that. Joe Biden is 100% correct to pull out of Afghanistan. It is a decision that is not without risk, but that is the risk worth taking. I've already seen in the news this being positioned as a, we are in Korea forever, or, we have troops in Germany that'll just kind of always be there. And isn't that worthwhile? And the difference there is that the Korean government wants us there. There aren't bullets flying. Same thing in Germany. If there was a movement to have the United States pull out of Germany and we were facing a sustained terrorist campaign for multiple decades, yeah, I think we'd maybe reconsider whether or not our presence in Germany was justified as well. The Afghan people did not want us in that country, obviously. Look how fast the army fell apart. Look how the political leadership ran away. If your country cannot stand up except for an American military on the soil, then I'm sorry, that's just an occupying force. We're not propping up any legitimate type of government then. And what gets lost in all of this is that while we want to recoil in horror, rightfully so, at seeing the Taliban take as much territory as they have, we need to understand that the alternative was to escalate and extend a bloody and unpopular war, to ask American men and women, as American service members, to foot the bill. For what? To build roads in Afghanistan? Man, we have a tough time building roads here in America. And what was the goal? A stable democracy in Afghanistan? Well, it's not a stable democracy if you're led by corrupt plutocrats who flee the country. I would really like to do a longer episode on Vietnam and this war on terror, because there are some similarities. Afghanistan could have been worse. See, we say that Afghanistan is the longest war, and I personally don't think that's true. I think Vietnam is our longest war. If you look at Vietnam from the Gulf of Tonkin in 1964 to the American withdrawal in 1973, okay, maybe that seems short. But, the United States was involved in Vietnam from 1945, after the Japanese pulled out, all the way until 75 when Saigon fell. That's a 30-year war. And think about it this way. When that war was 20 years old, there was the Gulf of Tonkin incident, and the United States escalated. That was the alternative here. We could have escalated in Afghanistan, maybe even reenacted the draft, sent 100,000 men over there or more, and the results are still going to be the same. How many American lives are worth it? How many men have to die until our politicians say, yeah, this was a mistake? We went into Afghanistan after 9/11. We went into Afghanistan after Saudi terrorists, funded by a Saudi oligarch, attacked the United States. They were held up in Afghanistan, and we attacked them, and we threw out their government. We should have left then. But instead we stayed, and we just moved over to Iraq as well. In the post-World War II period, the history books are going to look at Vietnam and Afghanistan as two events that were the same insofar as the American political system was unable or unwilling to recognize a mistake. Generations of political leaders in both cases didn't want to be the guy or the party that lost Afghanistan or lost Vietnam. We know from the Pentagon Papers that our leaders lied to us consistently about the ability to win in Vietnam, about how things were going, about the American presence there. We never had a Daniel Ellsberg for Afghanistan. But if we did, I wonder if those same reports would show that our leaders have been lying to us, that they've always known the only way to maintain the type of order we found in Afghanistan was to keep Americans there forever. And for what? There's a potential that things could go very bad in Afghanistan. It is very possible that the Biden administration is implementing things poorly in different ways or will do so, but the fundamental decision was the right one. And let us also look at the politics of this in terms of the last administration. The Trump administration drew down troops from 15,000 to 2,000. The Trump administration aimed to have troops out of Afghanistan by May 2021. I don't necessarily oppose that goal, but it strikes me as a political setup. That the Trump administration wanted to draw down troops to an unsustainable level before they left office, so that the Biden administration would then have to commit more troops, which would be wildly unpopular. Then the Democrats would look like hypocrites. But instead of falling for that trap, Joe Biden has done the right thing and went the other way. Pulled us out. And again, there's no way that was not the right decision. But I'll just say it again. Wars like Afghanistan and Vietnam survive on political lies. That's the only way they subsist, and they keep going as these low-burning conflicts, costing more American lives. And it's just... why? Why are we doing that? So, I was wrong about Joe Biden, and Joe Biden was right about Afghanistan. The only thing left for us to do is to throw open the doors and let in any Afghan national who wants in as an asylee. Anybody. We don't limit this to people who worked for us. We limit this to anybody and everybody who wants to come over. We can work out all the details and fill out the paperwork once they're safe on our side of the ocean. So, that's it from me. You've been great. I hope to see you again next time, but until then,
I ain't got time to kiss you now, I'm busy with this mule.